Hello and good morning. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Jackson Root, Content and Creative Marketing Manager at DTEN. Today's webinar addresses a topic that we talk about a lot at DTEN, and I'm sure a lot of you joining us today is on top of your minds, and that's our eventual return to the office. As a side note, I'd like to invite you to address any questions that you may have during this presentation to our Q&A function. We'll address some of the questions as we go and tackle the rest at the end of the presentation. Also, make sure you stick around to the end of the webinar because we'll have the ability for you to sign up for a one-on-one consultation with the DTEN Zoom product expert. So if you do have any questions that we don't get to today, or if you have any questions after the webinar, make sure you check out that link and we'll have a one-on-one exclusive just with you. So I'm pleased and privileged to introduce our panelists for today's webinar. With me today, we have Nia Celestin, Head of Marketing at DTEN, Mark Barragan, North America Zoom Rooms Manager at Zoom, and Scott Krueckeberg, Head of Strategic Alliances at DTEN. We'll be talking through a number of very exciting and innovative new solutions today, but before we do, Nia's going to talk a little bit about the current state of work and where we're headed. With that, I'll hand the presentation to Nia. Nia, I think you're on mute.
Myself. Great, thanks, Jackson. And thank all of you for joining us this morning. We are very excited to share new solutions to re-enter the office with you this morning. You know, 2020 was a year where we spent a lot of time empowering work from home. We focused on the ideal home office setup, making the most of our Zoom meetings, learning about breakout rooms and waiting rooms, and how to collaborate with remote teams. But 2021 will be all about how we all get to go back to the office. Some of us are going to remain remote permanently. Others will be back at the office full time, and still others will be going into the office 1, 2, or 3 days a week. This reality is the new hybrid work environment, and we're all getting ready to re-enter. So the question is, are we ready to re-enter the office? And how do we meet the needs of this new kind of hybrid work environment? In a recent survey from Forbes, employees were asked about what it would take for them to feel comfortable about going back to the office, and what would that look like for them, and what were some of their motivations, or what was their focus about the benefits of being in the office. And not surprising, 73% of the employees are looking for companies to adhere to safety protocols that will keep everyone safe. From, one-way traffic patterns on floors, to wearing masks, to creating personal workspaces that are separated from others, but also creating shared spaces that can be used safely. And part of the value of being in the office for a lot of people includes conversations with coworkers and being part of their company's culture. 76% ranked collaborating with coworkers as an important reason to return to the office. And all of that changes how we do things. It changes how we design our spaces, how we empower our remote and in-office employees, and how we engage with our customers and clients as we get back to some in-person meetings in the office. So today we're going to take a look at how together DTEN and Zoom are providing new solutions that are going to meet the needs of this new hybrid work environment. Our agenda today is chock full of information as well as demonstrations. Lots of hands-on, so you can see exactly how some of these new solutions can work and work best for you. First up will be Zoom's virtual receptionist. This is a capability in the Zoom platform that allows you to greet and interact with guests from wherever the guest is and from wherever you are. And that's something that's really interesting and extremely innovative. So the team will walk you through what that looks like. Next, we're going to talk about Zoom digital signage. And this is about how, when we go back to the office, how do we safely convey information to folks that's super easy for them to see, and easy for us as the employer, for example, to change out that content as we need to, right? To make sure that the employees and people in the office are getting the information they need. And we'll talk about in-office personal as well as shared spaces. And that, as I said, it's really about how we're going to design what the office looks like, and how are we going to make sure that when we're in the office, we have shared spaces that we can use safely. And very exciting is the new Zoom Rooms controller app. And the team will walk you through exactly what this is and how to set it up and how easy it is to create a hands-free opportunity to join your meetings as you walk into your rooms. And then finally, we're going to talk about Zoom Rooms and Teams and how the Zoom Rooms and Teams are integrated and how you can join your Teams meeting from your DTEN device. And with that, I'm going to hand us over to Scott to walk us through the DTEN Zoom relationship.
All right, thank you, Nia. Appreciate everyone joining us this morning. So yeah, I'm here with Mark Barragan, head of Zoom Rooms, and we want to touch base on the ongoing relationship between DTEN and Zoom. So what's unique about DTEN, we are innovation leaders alongside Zoom, with the cutting edge features of both hardware and software, how those two things come together, and that marriage has really excelled that collaboration and that conferencing experience. So everything's purpose built on the DTEN side to deliver the best optimized experience for your Zoom or Zoom room. So we co-develop, we co-engineer, the software and the hardware are developed at the same time to optimize that experience.
And I'd just like to add that, DTEN from the very beginning has been one of our go-to partners for creating Zoom rooms, right? In the past, we had to rely really on a lot of wires, getting a Mac or a PC to get the room together. This was great. However, DTEN really helped us build this all-in-one solution that we can really scale throughout the organizations. Very simple to use. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's very easy to unbox. All you need is power, Ethernet, and you're up and running with a Zoom Room license. So very powerful what DTEN has created on these all-in-one devices. And we're really looking forward to chatting today about all the great things that we're bringing to market with these devices and all the software, the exciting software that we're doing to put it into the DTEN hardware platform.
Absolutely. So the great thing about the DTEN devices, like he said, the simplicity and the value, the price points are there to allow you to scale your operation, do more collaboration and meeting spaces than you could with some other solutions in the market. All right, what do you say, Mark? Let's get down to business. New solutions to re-enter the office.
And I'd just like to say that right now, a lot of our meetings at Zoom are taking place where our customers are coming to us and saying, how are you guys preparing us, Zoom and DTEN, to go back into the office, right? And this is where it really gets exciting, because everybody during the pandemic that used Zoom really became accustomed to the way of working rapidly, right? A lot more meetings, if you will, a lot more synergies between the teams because of the platform that we brought during here. Now, re-entering the office, the word hybrid and re-enter the office is going to really take hold. And how do we keep that momentum of all the teams collaborating with 50% at home and 50% in the office? Or, some of those numbers will be a little different. We don't know how it's going to all play out. However, we will have a healthy mix of home users and office users. We're hearing it across the board. And today you'll be excited of what we have released with the DTEN platform.
Absolutely. So one conversation that we are having more and more every day is the Zoom virtual receptionist. So what this allows you to do is safely place a receptionist remotely, but still be able to contact people visiting your office and do that safely, both from the guest side and the employee side. So it's great that anyone visiting your office can be greeted anywhere, and that safely integrates with the Zoom Rooms resources. So your calendar, your contacts, everything is there available to you to set up this virtual receptionist.
And I would just like to add that, in the past, setting up a virtual receptionist was difficult, right? You would need a device like a DTEN. You need a platform like Zoom. You need third-party software to go and put this all together. This is something that we've embedded into the actual Zoom platform. So as long as you have the Zoom Room license, you get access to virtual receptionist, right? What does that mean? Not a lot of, it's no custom integration. And I can't reiterate that enough, because a lot of our customers really wanted this type of virtual receptionist in the past, but it was very difficult to install and manage and get third-party services in order to do this. Now all you need is a DTEN device and the Zoom platform together, and you have virtual receptionists.
Absolutely. And just to back that up, let's go ahead and walk everyone through how simple it is to actually create that virtual receptionist and put your own kiosk mode. So first thing is Zoom has built this phenomenal kiosk builder right inside of the Zoom portal. So the same place you would manage your Zoom rooms is the same place that you can create, customize, and manage your virtual receptionist. So once you create this room type as kiosk, you'll notice that it pops up here on your rooms list. I've called mine main lobby 1, and it's showing here that this is a kiosk. Once you go into edit, now your room has this new tab for a kiosk specifically. So when we click on this kiosk, you'll see that you have a complete customized builder for your UI when you're greeting your customers. You can do a lot of things in here, like change the background here to make it specific to your company. This is a welcome message. You also have a subtitle here. So we are committed to a safe environment. Tap the button to be greeted. So you can put the instructions on there for what that expectation is for your guests entering the office. Down here, we have an edit action button. So you can easily put meet receptionist. You can change the color of this to customize it. But it's really great because the builder is extremely simple and it gives you that customized experience for your company or your location. At the bottom here, it's very easy to add the back-end call recipients. So right now you can have up to 4 contacts that will receive the call once that meet receptionist button is pushed. So it's really nice that you can allow multiple people to all be dialed into this network remotely, but it's also super reliable. So now that we have built our kiosk, it's very easy to show you guys here what this expectation is. So now we have our 27-inch D10 Me. We're working with partner Urban here for this kiosk stand, which is very easily deployable in any application through integration. So the Me goes on top of the stand here. It's easy to place anywhere. You don't necessarily have to commit to a permanent install. You can easily move this stand around. The Me also, on top of Ethernet, the Me also works with wireless. So it's very easy to have a 1 cable install, put this device on your network, and it's very easy to tap the button and place a call to a receptionist. And what's great, Mark, is we've seen just in the couple weeks that this feature has been released, we've seen multiple use cases, right? So it's even grown and exploded past receptionists. We've seen tap here for IT support. We've seen tap here for help. We've seen concierge services. We've seen a lot of different applications for this. And that's what's great about the builder is you literally get to set up that language to make it a specific use case for your company.
And I'll just add to that, that this is, with kiosk mode, it's one of the first times we've opened up the UI. Traditionally, we've kept the UI in a Zoom room locked down, simply so that we can make it simple and a unique experience for the user interface across the board. We didn't want it to, we wanted the user to be able to learn it one time and they would be able to see it everywhere. Now with kiosk mode, like Scott mentioned, you can customize the actual kiosk mode, and that's what's users are coming to their own conclusions, like Scott mentioned, that they could use it for so much more than just a regular kiosk and a virtual receptionist.
Yeah, absolutely. So great stuff here. And like we said, we'd be more than welcome to help you set this up, get a personalized demo from the DTEN and the Zoom team. But we're really excited about kiosk mode and virtual receptionist for that safe return to the office.
So before we jump into this slide, we've gotten some really great questions about digital signage, which I think is a really nice segue into this next topic.
Yeah, so the great thing about digital signage is you only need a single Zoom room license to deploy digital signage throughout your organization. So I think Mark can step in here and give you the details from the Zoom side on this great feature packed into Zoom rooms.
So like Scott mentioned, one Zoom room license in your organization entitles you to unlimited digital signage, meaning as long as you have a compute device behind a monitor or you have a DTEN D7 or an ON or a one of the Mi's, you could do digital signage anywhere. And remember that digital signage, when you're not using a Zoom room, it could be used as digital signage itself, right? So you don't need a dedicated monitor somewhere in the office for digital signage. When not being used as a Zoom room, you have the ability to use digital signage. And we're doing a lot of things with digital signage, right? So we're doing things like, what we call hot desking, if you will, where you can just walk up to a digital signage and it will show you a floor map and what rooms are available and what rooms are not. In a perfect world, I schedule my meetings for the next day or the next week, and then I have my resource available. But what if I didn't schedule my actual room? I could walk into one of the digital signage that you have on a floor or an office, and I can see what's available live on the fly, and it could lead me to where it's going. That's one of the use cases for digital signage. Of course, there's many other use cases for digital signage, such as maybe you want to get corporate messages out there, right? Or you want to have an all hands meetings put out there on the digital signage. These are all things you could do with the digital signage. And again, can't reiterate enough that it's only one Zoom room license you need per organization that entitles you to unlimited digital signage. So it's one of our best kept secrets, and we're continuing to add more and more features to digital signage. So we're only going to grow with it, right? With this platform.
Absolutely. So like I said, just even more value add to roll out Zoom rooms across your organization. And to kind of back up where you're going with this, Mark, right? We do have some personal meeting spaces that we're seeing being worked into design and plans. So, a year ago, 95% of our conversations were with IT directors. Now it's 50-50 with facility managers. Lots of questions, lots of help is needed out there on how can these solutions help us create new spaces to exist in our company. So one of the big ones I think that's going to be great is the 27-inch Me for the in-office phone booths. And what's great is phone booth is a little misleading because it's way more than just a phone call, right? It is a traditional Zoom room call with the audio, with the video. So with the Me, what's great about that is you can utilize your Zoom phone license as well as your Zoom Rooms license. So those can be integrated. You can elevate voice calls into a meeting. All those great features with Zoom is now available in a very safe, private environment that's meant for one-on-one with the employee.
Yeah, and I'll just mention here that, phone booth, huddle space, these types of devices in the past were very expensive, right? The DTEN Me team was able to get it down to a very affordable price point, which is allowing our customers to really scale the solution, right? So again, power, Ethernet, you're up and running in that phone booth or huddle space, allows you to walk in, and a little later, we're going to talk about, if I do walk into one of these spaces, how do I make that mine, right? Because right now, as you walk in, it's just a Zoom room, but the second I pair it to one of my devices, it really becomes my personal device. And then when I leave, it opens back up for the next person to come in and take ownership of the actual space itself. So think about that. We'll cover it more in a little bit. And then, DTEN is really pushing us, right? In the sense that we need more digital whiteboarding features. So we're coming out with living whiteboards, if you will, that will save to chat spaces. Very, very cool, right? In the past, we would go ahead and do a whiteboard. And what happens, we take a snapshot of it, and then we email it out to the team, sometimes immediately after the meeting, sometimes a few days, sometimes never, right? So it goes into this state of not really being used anymore. But with Living Whiteboard, myself and Scott and Nia can create a whiteboarding session, have it, our meeting ends, we can continue working on it, or we can meet back again and pick up right where we left off. These are really, really cool, unique solutions that in the past, again, needed a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving platform, a lot of different platforms in order to bring such a application together. And now we have it all in one with just a D10 device, the Zoom platform, and the living whiteboard is something that we're putting a lot of time and resources in engineering to develop.
And already, we're starting to see that trickle right out into that experience that you're describing. So even the latest update to Zoom Rooms makes sharing that whiteboard so much easier than it ever has been. So in the past, you would have to search through your contact resources, right, to find the person that you want to share that whiteboard with. What I really think is great is in this most recent release, it identifies the people that are already in the meeting, which I think saves you so much time and effort searching through. Some companies have thousands of employees and contacts in their Zoom Room resource. What's happening now is Zoom Rooms is so smart, it detects the people that are already in that meeting. You can select all of them simultaneously and shoot that whiteboard out in under 5 seconds. So even the advancements now are making it more and more user-friendly right off the bat.
And again, this all plays into the return to the office, right? How do we keep it seamless for the home user, not to miss out on what's happening in the actual conference room or the huddle space? These are the things that are going to become important moving forward as we return to the office. I know the dates are all over the place with different organizations. However, these are the types of things that we're going to be able to deploy out to the workforce in order to continue the hybrid workforce and the continuity that we've created.
And a company that issues the Me as a home device and also an inner office device just even solidifies that seamless experience. So your employee is constantly in the same environment with the same collaboration tools, and it just makes a very, very smooth experience for the hybrid workforce. All right, so yep, go for it.
This is an exciting one, right?
Yeah.
So I know we're getting a lot of questions in the Q&A of what is D10 making it, what are we doing to make it safer for the return to office? We totally understand, right? We have this big, if you will, whiteboard, right? Which is a lot of space. It could get a lot of touch points. Two things on that. One is, of course, you can use your finger always, but that might create a little healthy level of paranoia. You can use, though, if you will, devices, right? Like pens or sticks that are touch point for it. Like Scott's holding one up right now. So you're able to use those, which means you will not touch the board. But even more exciting is, how about we don't even touch it at all? We use it on our actual mobile devices. So when I walk into a room and I want to take control of it, again, it could be a dummy, if you will, Zoom room. But the second I pair to it with whether it's my cell phone, my Android, or my iOS device, or my laptop, I walk in, the D10 board pings me and says, Mark, would you like to pair to this device? I say yes. And then the cool thing happens is now my calendar's on that device. So when I hit start meeting, instead of the meeting starting right here on my laptop or my personal device, it actually brings in the D7, right, or the on into the meeting, and that becomes my microphone, speakers, and the whole nine, right? So how cool is that we have no touch capability as well when we walk into these rooms, which that's the ultimate, right? Is if we don't interact with the device, we simply do that. We also have whiteboarding capabilities from the phone, from the laptop, or a tablet. So pairing is the ultimate experience that we believe in going back to the office, because it allows us to start our meeting, make it our personal device when we're in the conference room. And oh, by the way, multiple people can actually pair to a device. So if multiple people wanted to mute or unmute, right, or stop the camera or adjust the volume of the meeting, all this is going to be controlled with the Zoom client and the Zoom controller app that we have that pairs with your client. So very, very powerful.
And I think we can, really show that, right, that these features are available now. It's not roadmap. We're not talking about the future. So as you can tell now, for your mobile device, you have a room controller app. And just as Mark described, you see a button that says control nearby room. So when you push that button, it's going to scan your area and tell you what devices are available. So right now you can see it's saying detecting rooms. So it's going to search my area and find out what Zoom rooms and devices I have. So now you can see this list that says select room. You easily click on that and I'm paired to my device. You have all the controllers here in a personal device that controls your D7, your D10 Me, whatever environment you're in, and you can easily mute, start the meeting, stop the meeting, turn your camera off and on, share your screen, change the view. All the great things about that controller are right here in the palm of my hand. So we see companies either choosing that personal mobile device or issuing things like stylus to all their inner office employees. And that with some simple cleaning, right, completely creates that safe environment to still share devices and spaces, but keep everyone safe.
And let me just add to that, Scott, because I know we're probably gonna get the question is, okay, well, what if someone takes control of my actual Zoom room, right? The way the technology works is it's an ultrasonic frequency that comes from the D10 devices. And the microphone, as long as I allow it on my phone, listens to this ultrasonic frequency, and then they basically communicate and let each other know what the device is, what the name is, the room. Now, the cool thing about the ultrasonic frequency is it doesn't travel beyond glass or sheetrock, right? So if you think about that, you have to be in the room in order to pair to it. It is adjustable as well. You can make it less sensitive or more sensitive on the ultrasonic frequency. However, you know, the reason why I point this out is someone outside of the room will not be able to take control of the device unless they're in there and they have access to the ultrasonic frequency. So just in case, you know, you guys have any concerns on that, we've taken that into consideration as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, there's some questions in here, right, about security concerns, which you clearly just addressed. We have some questions about camera control. And currently the D7 device does have EPTZ camera controls in there. The end of this month, it'll also come to our appliances, so including the Me and the On. So by the end of February into March, you'll have complete control over things like camera, microphone, start meeting, stop meeting, and it'll be a very clean experience. And we'll have all these features released and available long before your actual return to the office takes place, which is great. Another hot topic, Mark.
Another one.
Yep.
Obviously, Zoom was not alone in the pandemic of platforms that really, you know, took off. And so Microsoft Teams is one of the ones as well that gets used a lot out there. And, you know, customers were becoming concerned about, okay, look, I'm a Zoom customer, but I might have some of my own customers that use Teams, right? Or I might have some external resources that have Teams. How do we make this world, how do we make these worlds come together? Luckily, what we've done that's different in the past, Microsoft would take our API and do their best at integrating and vice versa. We'd take their API and do the best we could. But now we're actually collaborating with Microsoft in order to have a cross-functional, if you will, platform, right? So what that means is I'm able to join a Teams meeting, right, from a D10 device natively versus having to go through some third-party service. And it's called a direct join, which is one-touch join, which is Scott's going to show us right now. The cool thing here is we're actually opening up, if you will, a web API from the Teams meeting and making it more of a native experience. So we're not going through some sort of gateway and transcoding and getting you know, a little bit loss of the quality. So I would say that this was a more cleaner approach between ourselves and Microsoft to be able to bring this integration together. And I believe Scott's going to show us how it works. But again, very, very powerful in the sense that rest assured, using any D10 device, we will be able to join a Teams meeting. And Scott, take it away.
Yeah, so, you know, this is also a feature that is available today. It's not a future thing. We have complete interop on our Windows units. So the D10 D7, which is Windows IoT based, is currently doing this interop environment today. And I think Jackson has a great video to walk us through what that experience is like. And you can take it away there, Jackson.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to join a Teams meeting from a Zoom room. Today we'll be using a D10 D7. Jackson has sent me a calendar invite for the Teams meeting, and I can see, just like a Zoom meeting, I've got that one-touch join button. So I'm going to click that. Right now, this is available natively only on the D10 D7. In the past, you needed an Interop service or another third-party license, but this is available just standard with your Zoom Room subscription.
Hey Drew, so glad you're able to join us today from your D7.
Hey Jackson, this was just as easy as joining a Zoom meeting.
Right on, let's get started.
Really is that simple. Thanks for watching. Zoom on.
So as you can see, right, it's there today. The Interop is currently available, and it's great because whether it's the Outlook calendar, right, that you're integrating, you're actually still in a Teams looking environment, even from a Zoom room. So you still have controls, you still have mutes and cameras on and off and microphones on and off, just like you would in a Zoom meeting. But you're connecting in a Teams environment. So really exciting for enterprise and some other places that we're needing to collaborate and communicate with maybe other companies or other platforms. And now Teams is fully integrated seamlessly, and it's been a really great experience for the customers. All right, Mark, I'll let you talk here with the voice controls. I think this is really exciting as well.
Absolutely. So again, one of the unique integrations we have been working on is with Amazon themselves. So we've embedded Alexa into the DTEN devices. This is very, very cool, right? Because now I can walk into a room and I can say, Alexa, start my meeting, right? So Alexa will be smart enough to go in there and see what meeting is scheduled for top of the hour and actually launch us into that. We could do things like turn the volume up or down with Alexa. Again, this is going back into the return to the office, make it safe, make it touchless. Another device that we can put in there to make it consistently hands-free approach for the end users. And again, this is a true collaboration between ourselves and Amazon. We do work really closely with the team in order to bring these features to market. And this is one of the ones that it's going to go across all of the Zoom Room platform. So, you'll be able to get it on the Me, on the On, and the D7. So this is a very, very cool experience and very, very powerful, right? So this is something we've been working on for quite some time. It's not something we just started. And the team is very, very excited of what we created here for the hands-free approach.
Yeah, so just really exciting options, right? And that's what's great about this is we're providing solutions, but we're also providing options for solutions. And, every company is different. Every plan to return to the office is different. So I really think we're providing, good, better, best, ABC, all these different combinations that companies can deploy to make the employees feel safe and keep that environment as safe as possible. So really exciting stuff.
And really quickly on this one as well, of course, we always know that, security is of utmost concern. So, this is something you could turn on or off, right? You could remove completely from the Zoom room if you guys do not want to have Alexa in those rooms. So it's just another feature. And what do you know? My Alexa just responded. Another feature basically that you guys could take advantage of. And we do not charge for this feature as well, right? So it's embedded into the platform, and it's something that, again, you could turn on. And, it's very cool because I know I use Alexa all throughout the house, and I've just become very accustomed to it. So going back to the office, it'll be easy to walk into a room and have Alexa start my meeting. So,
yep.
Yeah, very exciting.
Well, thank you very much, guys, for joining us today. I just want to recap really quickly some of the really exciting things that we just went through, because we covered a lot in a very short period of time. And again, before we get to the very end of the Q&A, I just want to reiterate again, you can sign up at the end of the webinar to get a one-on-one exclusive with the DTEN Zoom product expert. So, just to recap, some of the really exciting things that we ran through today included virtual assistant, virtual receptionist, and kiosk mode. It's huge. Zoom digital signage really has a tremendous amount of flexibility and can be a major useful tool for any building. In-office phone booths, as Scott went through, really some really interesting ways to get personal meeting spaces into your offices while minimizing person-to-person contact. Zoom Rooms controller app, very exciting development there, allowing you to control your Zoom Rooms from your mobile device. The Zoom Rooms and Microsoft Teams integration, I think, is huge, right? You think about the last 9 months, had a lot of teams that have gone in many different directions. And this is a great way to bring everybody together and really reduce a lot of the friction between different platforms. And last up is the Zoom Rooms and Alexa integration, which I think is really exciting for voice control. So now I just want to open it up to Q&A. So, we've got quite a few questions that came in during the webinar, and we'll start digging into those now. But again, just one more time, I just want to give a plug here. We've got a QR code. You can scan it on your phone. It'll open up a form for you to sign up for a one-on-one consultation. We'll make sure that any questions that you have from today's webinar will be addressed directly with you. Yeah. And also, too, that will also open up an exclusive opportunity to try a Zoom Rooms and a D10, D7 free for 30 days, which is a huge opportunity for you. If you've always wanted to try a D7, that's our Windows-based device, 55-inch, which is just a tremendous tool for whiteboarding, collaboration, annotation of shared documents. Of course, it has the built-in cameras and microphones and Zoom software. So definitely take advantage of that opportunity. And with that, let's dig into some of these Q&A questions.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of similar questions, right? A lot of them are on the features of the D10 device specifically. So things that we definitely have, like auto framing, where it'll follow you around the room, EPTZ control. So all of the features for the D10 devices, we'd be happy to meet. And in these one-on-one or these roundtable environments, we'd definitely be able to walk you through all the features that D10 solutions can bring to your organization. So as we dig into some of the questions about what we spoke about today, we've covered some of them. Does the device have to be on the same LAN as the room? No, this is an ultrasound pairing. So you don't have to rely on your network to do that. You're doing it with the ultrasound in the room. So that's great. We kind of covered some security concerns, right? Which ultrasound does not travel very far. So if you're in that room, in that environment, you can rely on the security at that point as well. So we have, when will Zoom Room be able to control camera on the D10Me devices? So what's great, Mark, we're going to do these once a month, right? So everything we're going to talk about in February is available in February. If you guys come back and join us in March, you'll see a lot of these features roll out and become rolled out across more platforms. So currently the controller is available for iOS and Android in a mobile environment. Come back and join us next month and you'll see the Windows and the Mac-based pairing and how you can also do that with other devices. So that's exciting. More camera controls, yes, everything activated at this time with EPTZ, auto framing, all of that is available. Did you see anything here, Jackson, that jumped out to you?
There's also another one here of guest. Is there a guest mode to have multi-agencies use a phone booth? And yes, absolutely. By default is in guest mode, and then you can go in there and take personal, control of the room. Even a step further, I can go into an organization as long as they give me access to the facility. I can go in there and also pair it to my unique device, right? I don't have to even be part of the organization. So yeah, we made this open to a lot. So it's very, very flexible on the guest mode.
Yeah.
I think there are some questions too about, using touch right now, right? It's kind of a huge concern. So Scott, you mentioned, we talked about this briefly in the middle of the webinar. You can use a stylus. There are a number of ways that you can keep touch out of the equation directly, but still use some of these really great whiteboarding features that really make these solutions shine. And I think a stylus is a great way to do that. Another way I've seen some of our customers do it is they'll have a number of styluses in two different buckets, either on either side of like a D7 or an on, and they'll have a dirty bucket and a clean bucket. So that's a great way to do it too. So you can keep the sterilized styluses moving in the cycle. A couple of different ways you can do that while still maximizing those features.
I'm also seeing, do we have the ability to join a GoToMeeting or WebEx from a D10Me? And yes, absolutely. That's done on the integration on the Zoom portal itself. And that will allow you to get the one button to push to join a WebEx meeting.
Yep, very cool stuff. There's some stuff in here about, basic Zoom environment questions, right? Like waiting rooms. So Waiting rooms is specific to your account. So when you log in on zoom.us into your environment, you can select if you want waiting rooms off and on, passwords off and on. All of the security features that were rolled out during the pandemic are right there in your account, and you can customize what you want that meeting experience to be.
There's another one here on, is there a package for DTEN for education? And I don't think we hit that one enough, but Scott and myself have worked in a lot of educational classroom environments out there, and we can't reiterate enough just how powerful the D7 has been out there, right? The microphone on there, it has a microphone array, and the number one question we always get is, can the students hear me from the teachers, right? Can they hear me? And if you guys want, please reach out to us for a demo. We could be clear across the room whispering, and that microphone is so powerful, it picks up the instructor from across the room, and all that these students can hear from home. And this is a demo that always blows away our customers, because it's the amount of work that D10 put into this microphone array is very, very powerful. And it just allows the instructor to be more mobile, able to walk around and not have to worry about the technology itself, right? And not having to wear a lapel or not having to put ceiling microphones all over the place. It's just very, very powerful. Highly recommend you guys get a demo from us.
Yeah, so, back to kiosk mode and virtual receptionist, right? Are you able to select a specific person? Absolutely. So anyone in your contacts resource in your room's environment, up to 4 of those people can be selected to answer that call from kiosk mode. So you don't have to have the same person every day, all day. They can fit to your schedule of how you rotate your receptionist or your concierge or your IT department. All those different schedules can be accommodated with who actually is receiving the call from the device.
We're also getting another one. Will Zoom Mobile work with older Zoom rooms? And yes, the answer is yes. So we're all across the board. The pairing will work with all Zoom rooms moving forward. Also, another one is when will Zoom for Home launch? And that is now. So we have what's called a personal Zoom room license, meaning that if I have a D10 Me at home or a D7 or on, I can make that my personal device with my meetings license. What that means is it basically does become my personal device, so I can't put multiple calendars on the device itself because it's my personal device, but we do have Zoom for Home available today.
So I've got a good question about the Zoom app control. Does the mobile device that has the app, does it have to be on the same local area network as the room system?
So it does not, because the ultrasonic frequency, whether you're on the same system or not, is going to hit the actual phone itself, right? So first and foremost, we're always trying to take a local route from the device to the actual room system itself. But if not, we always go through the cloud. So as long as both devices have internet access, you'll be fine. And the ultrasonic frequency is not related to a network. It's really related to an open live communication between the two devices itself.
Yep.
So yes, you don't have to be on the same network.
Yeah.
Very cool.
A question here was, do you have to click the button on the virtual receptionist to be connected? And technically, I guess the answer is no, right? You can have an always on virtual receptionist, and that's what's great about the reliability and the stability of D10 and Zoom and our partnership is you can literally have an always on portal where you can greet. And we see a lot of companies doing this globally, right, Mark? They'll put a large screen in one section and they'll put that in 4 or 5 or 6 buildings, right, globally. And it's really a portal. So it's a walk-up portal for employees to greet, collaborate, discuss, and those are really always on type of environments. So you can choose either solution to tap to place that call or have an always on.
Let's not forget about voice activation as well. So we'll be adding that where you can walk up to and say hello, or, we could put something across the background that says, say hello to the virtual receptionist or kiosk. So we'll be looking to add that type of functionality in there as well in the future release, so we can do voice controls if we don't want to touch it at all.
Yeah. So, right. And that's, the future of this is happening quickly, right? We're only talking between now and June. We'll have a full suite of voice controls, gestures, right? All sorts of things that are going to control and activate these devices outside of you know, touching the screen. So it's really exciting stuff. So for now, you know, I think we've answered a lot of the questions. We'll be able to get back to everyone following the webinar. Please come in, meet with us one-on-one, come into an environment where you really get to know the features, the solutions, the devices. We're happy to meet with everyone. So unless Mark or Nia, if you have any closing remarks, I think this has been a great webinar. Very informative, and everyone should be very excited about the features that we talked about today.
Absolutely. Just want to thank everyone for joining today. We really appreciate it. We had a great attendance, and we really appreciate you guys joining and listening to us today. And again, please feel free to reach out to us, as we want to make a clear path for return to the office and help as much as we can on creating that hybrid workforce.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks all.